Good morning, everybody. It's Bob from Mountain Crest Farms. Oh me, it's gonna be a pretty day, but right now it's chilly. As you can see, second morning in a row, got my jacket on. It's not quite as chilly as yesterday. It was 59 yesterday morning. I think it's up to 62 or 63 today. A couple more degrees and I won't be wearing this jacket, but right now it's chilly. It's gonna be a clear blue sky today. It's gonna be nice. Oh, I'm huffing and puffing. Humidity's up just a little bit. Plus, I just walked uphill to get out here and I didn't take enough of a break before I started. Sorry about that. First thing, so I don't forget, tomorrow, Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time will be the second live stream that Mountain Crest Farm does. And they're always topical. They're always something to do with homesteading. I'm not going to tell you what tomorrow's going to be. It's already planned out, but you'll just have to come see us. 6 o'clock Eastern every Sunday until the weather or the cold or something drives me back inside, in which case we might change the time, but I don't think so. Oh, today is going to be a bit of a rant. It's going to be just a little bit political. Not much. It actually isn't going to be political, except for I want to talk about political correctness and having to be careful about what we say and how we say it. A little bit of backstory on this. Okay, y'all know I've mentioned in several of my videos, I don't run Windows operating system on my computer. I don't run Macs either because, number one, I refuse to have anything to do with Apple. And number two, even if I wanted to run Apple stuff, I can't afford it. Apple hardware is expensive. I run Linux. Since I run Linux, I probably don't run a lot of the software that y'all run. And this rooster right down here can go away. Since I run Linux, I probably don't run a lot of the software that y'all run. Most of y'all that are running Windows run Windows only software. And when you run Linux, you got to look for other stuff, especially for graphics. Everybody's heard of Photoshop, right? You got a picture. If the video's shaking around a little bit, it's because a chicken just jumped up right behind the camera and it's not on a super stable platform. So as he bounces around, so does the camera just a little bit. But everybody's heard of Photoshop. You know, when you see a picture that's been obviously manipulated, and if you're on Facebook and you see memes that you know that's not how the picture really was, that's usually done with Photoshop. Well, in Linux, Photoshop doesn't work. And for years there has been a program, now I don't use it because there's other software I like better that'll run in Linux, but for years, since 1996, 95, there were two students at California, Berkeley, that used to be a good school. There were two students at California, Berkeley that developed basically a Photoshop that was open source, free, and that ran on Linux. Well, actually, it ran on another operating system. I'll get into that in a minute. But the program was called General Image Manipulation Program, GIMP for short. That was in 1996 when it was first released. 1 or 2 years later, 1997 or 98, they collaborated with another guy to help upgrade the program, and he had developed operating system called GNU, and he asked if they would mind changing. It was still the acronym GIMP, but instead of general image manipulation program. It was GNU image manipulation program. Now that sounds like a whole bunch of stuff you're really not interested in. But keep in mind, the program was developed in 1996. It's over 20 years old. 23 years old to be exact. The program has been called GIMP for 23 years. Fast forward to last month. When you develop software, when you develop free open source software like most of the stuff that runs on Linux, it's developed along a line with updates and things like that. And every once in a while, a little fork. The people who are developing it will take one path, and somebody else, open source, everybody contributes. They'll say, well, we want to do it just a little bit different, and they'll take this path. It's called a fork. GIMP has never had a fork. It's always been developed, updated along the same path, no major differences, so there was never a fork. Last month there was a fork. Now usually when software has a fork, it's because of something dramatically different in the way it operates. Think in terms of developing a car. If you change from a basic color for your car, like Henry Ford did, he didn't care what color his cars were as long as they were black. When somebody started painting them white and red and blue, that wouldn't be a fork, that would just be a update. If they had changed cars to have 3 wheels instead of 2, that would be a fork. A major change is a fork in software development. Last month, GIMP had a fork. Now you would think it's because they stuck something in there that made it do something radically different, radically better. No. It forked because of its name. GIMP forked, and there's still GIMP, still an excellent piece of software. And there is Glimpse, G-L-I-M-P-S-E, instead of GIMP, G-I-M-P. Now, G-I-M-P stood for something that made sense. General Image Manipulation Program, and then the next year, 1997, GNU Image Manipulation Program. Well, for Glimpse, they have come up with some words to fit G-L-I-M-P-S-E, but they make no sense. Glimpse is a fork for one reason and one reason only. It operates the same. Now they might do some tweaking so they can claim it's different over the next year, 2 years, 3 years. But as of right now, when it forked last month, it's the same program. The name, GIMP, being changed to Glimpse, was the only difference. Why? Well, because you see, the word GIMP, it's not a word, it's an acronym for 4 words. But the word GIMP would be offensive to people who maybe hobbled around a little bit when they've got a sore foot. You know, gimp around. You know, like I was doing last week because of the callus on my foot. Like I was doing 6 months ago when I was cutting down a tree and it fell on my other foot. Small tree, no big damage. I gimped around, and gimp wasn't offensive then, and it's not offensive now. But boy, the PC police think it is. It's getting to where you can't say a thing. You know, for the last 10, 12 years, no, not that long, for the last 6 or 8 years, I've been trying to watch what I say because I used to have a foul mouth. Well, in my early adulthood, late teens, early adulthood, I had a real bad mouth. The worst thing you can say used to fall out of my mouth all the time. GD this, GD that. I got rid of that a long time ago. But up until 6 or 8 years ago, that was about the only thing I'd gotten rid of. I've used that word. I'm not going to say it, obviously. I'm not even going to use the initial, but obviously. I've used that word quite a bit in my adult life. And I started trying to clean my language up. I always did it for me. Now, it's for other people, just like y'all. It was for other people, too. I didn't want to offend somebody. But I'll just be damned, and I do still say damned. I'll just be damned if you're going to come tell me that something's offensive if it's not, and have me change. I'll decide if, am I being offensive when I say that? Am I bothering people when I say that, and I'll change it if I should? Like I've tried to clean my language up. But, come on, GIMP? GIMP is so offensive that a major piece of software, and major in the Linux world, okay, in the great scheme of things in software, us Linux users are just a little drop in the bucket. So, big in the Linux world, a major piece of software. Basically the Linux equivalent of Photoshop. People have to change the name of it because somebody doesn't want to hear the word GIMP. People sure get offended easy these days. And they get offended over such little trivial stuff that doesn't amount to a hill of... Do y'all know what a gnat bite is? Have I ever told y'all what a gnat bite is? Let me tell you what a gnat bite is. A gnat is a little bitty bug down here in Georgia. If you've ever been down during the summer, gone to Florida from up north, you've gotten gnats. It's a little cloud. They love carbon dioxide. During the summers, it's this little black cloud that follows you around in front of your nose and mouth because of your exhaling carbon dioxide. They're called gnats. And gnats bite. They have a tiny little bite. Doesn't amount to a hill of beans. Doesn't raise a bump on you. And there's a thing called a gnat bite that has nothing to do with actual gnats. A gnat bite is something completely insignificant that doesn't mean a thing, that has no real effect on you, that just irritates the heck out of you. Well, PC is my personal gnat bite. I have two personal gnat bites. One of them's that. The other one is I can't stand the term hot water heater. It is not a hot water heater. It is a water heater. If it was a hot water heater, it would be heating hot water, and if the water was already hot, why would you heat it? You wouldn't need a heater. So it's either hot water tank or a water heater. It is not a hot water heater. That's my other gnat bite. But PC is one of my gnat bites. And when I read that about GIMP, I just shook my head. The people who would get so offended at that are the same people who... No, I'm not going to go there. That's too political. I'll take it back to World War II. Same people get so offended and have to have their safe rooms and everything these days because every little thing just sets them off and triggers them. Can you imagine them in 1944? Can you imagine these... I hate to pick on millennials, but I'm going to just a little bit. Can you imagine them... Can you imagine them storming the beaches in Normandy? We'd all be speaking German. But anyway, that's it. Political correctness has... Okay, I touched on politics, and I guess this is way too political for my channel, and I'm not going to do it anymore, but I had to do this one. After reading about GIMP, which has to do with graphics and images and video and making videos and all like that, which is sort of related to YouTube, I guess is sort of how I'm justifying getting a little bit political. But, folks, Come on. Number one, it's not offensive. And number two, if something like that did offend you, shrug it off and move on. God, if you can't deal with that, you can't deal with life. All right, I probably made some folks mad. Promise y'all I didn't get political, I just did. But oh well. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up down there. If you like my channel, hit that little subscribe button down there. And when the subscribe button, after you hit it, ring that little bell that appears so you get notifications. Thumbs up if you like the video, thumbs down if you don't. But if you don't, leave me a comment telling me why. You know, not much, but sometimes y'all leave me a comment. Y'all give me a thumbs down. You never give me a comment why. Is it because you really don't have a reason? You just wanted to hit a thumbs down? That's kind of silly, isn't it? If you're going to hit a thumbs down, tell me why so I can make it better. And again, remember, tomorrow, Sunday, 6 o'clock Eastern, the second Mountain Crest Farm live stream. Be something about homesteading. I'm not going to tell you what. You're just going to have to come see the video to see. Or come see the live stream to see. And until then, y'all have an absolutely awesome Saturday, okay? I'm going to. Oh, even if it is a little bit chilly this morning, that's okay. Warm coffee takes care of that. I'll see you tomorrow at the live stream. And until then, remember two things. Two things to remember. Number one, the tomb was empty. Number two, he is alive. Y'all go have a great day. I'm going to. Bye.